Got a puncture in his rear right wheel. I can see almost the depression on the tyre. It may be that he's got a slow puncture. The profile of the tyre looks to me to be a little down in the middle. Now, I may be wrong. We're looking from the television monitor, but it looks to me like the depression on the crown of the tyre could mean a puncture. This would slow him up.
And here's Jody Scheckter in pursuit anyway, closing up. Now, this is going to be very interesting indeed. Coming up to the completion of the 69th lap with 6 laps of the 2.65-mile circuit to go. And Lauda certainly doesn't know he's got a puncture because he hasn't gone into the pits. There he goes through Paddock Bend.
At this stage in the race, if it's only a slow puncture, he may be able to hold it, but there, I'm sure he can't. He's slowing down too much. There's smoke coming out of the back of the car also. A little puff of smoke there as he goes down into bottom hill. The Ferrari people lining themselves up in the pits waiting for it. They're looking towards the racetrack themselves. The pit's a very important part here because the Ferrari pit work, in fact, is very good, but certainly not good enough to save this man's lead if he has to stop.
And
Niki
the gap
Lauda
is only...
My goodness, with Jody Scheckter right behind him now.
Right on his tail. Look, there you see the two cars. There's first and second place as they come up to 70 laps with 5 laps to go. Now, there's Jody Scheckter in the blue Tyrrell, raising his finger to Niki Lauda ahead of him in the red Ferrari number 12. Here's a turn up for the book. Niki Lauda, who's dominated this race, but Jody Scheckter, who's really fought manfully to keep in touch and now knows exactly what the situation is, and that tyre is done.
He's going to pass him now. He'll certainly pass him down. Niki Lauda is going to come into the pits, I'm sure. Jody Scheckter, and he hasn't let him through. He hasn't gone across. He hasn't gone across.
There he goes now on the outside coming into clearways. It's Jody Scheckter taking the lead with the Tyrrell at the 71st lap with 4 laps to go. The young South African Jackie Stewart's replacement in the Tyrrell team lives up to Ken Tyrrell's confidence in him and takes the lead from the Ferrari. Now, the big question is, will Niki Lauda have to come into the pits with a puncture if that is the case, or is he going to soldier on in the hope of finishing? Because now behind him he's got Emerson Fittipaldi, although Emerson is quite a long way back on the McLaren M23-5, number 5.
What a situation for Jody Scheckter and the British Tyrrell team. This is Ken Tyrrell. This must be a great moment from him. We've won the British Grand Prix before. Of course, there's somebody on the grass there. Tom Price going wide on the grass there.
Now, here's Niki Lauda, and there's Carlos Reutemann right on his tail now. Now, if he has slowed that much, and he obviously has, Reutemann will be pressing to get past. Carlos Reutemann with the white Brabham, the Works Brabham, on which he's had very mixed fortune. Reutemann is a lap down, of course, but he was fifth earlier in the race. He had a spin, and the car's obviously in good song, and he's getting past the Ferrari. So the Ferrari is obviously in trouble. Niki Lauda now really in trouble, and Carlos Reutemann is currently in 6th position.
Now, I think it must be that tyre that I saw go down earlier on. I just saw the profile. Now, this is something that a racing driver must always look for in his mirror. It may be this that's causing the slowing down procedure of Niki Lauda. It could be something else, of course. It's difficult for us to see from here. But he must stay on the racetrack. He's got so few laps to go that he can't risk coming into the pits. If he goes into the pits, there's an awful long time to stay in there. There is a puff of smoke coming out of the back of the car. Now, that could be almost anything. A very disappointing situation for Niki.
But he is still in 2nd place, and Emerson Fittipaldi in the McLaren number 5 is only a few seconds behind him and closing up. There he is now on the right. There's Lauda on the inside, and Emerson Fittipaldi going past him, so he's now in 3rd place.
The tyres are smoking now. The tyre is breaking up because no tyre can put up with this. The tyre itself, you'll see, is smoking as he comes in. There's the tyre smoking. The left-hand rear tyre is starting to break up because of temperature. It's questionable now whether he can get even round to finish this race. I very much doubt it. He'll be on the rim before long. Now, he must stay out of trouble. He's got to be very careful. The tyre fly off the rim here. It could cause him a big accident because even at this reduced speed, he's still travelling very fast by road standards.
What a desperate disappointment for Niki Lauda, but what a turn-up for the book as far as Jody Scheckter is concerned in the lead. And now Emerson Fittipaldi in second place, and Jackie Hicks, to his great surprise, looks as if he's going to be third on JPS number 2. Meantime, there's John. He's gone on. He hasn't gone into the pits. Niki Lauda hasn't gone into the pits. There's John Watson on his tail. This is really extraordinary. He's got 3 laps to go on the 2.65-mile circuit if he's going to finish. And if he's going to finish and score any points, he's going to be very pushed indeed.
He's got to be very careful. The biggest problem here, in fact, is to keep the car on the road, because if that tyre comes off the rim, he's going to fly off the road. Now, this is right on his fingertips, right? He's holding on the edge of a major accident. He's got to be very careful indeed. This, of course, puts the World Championship in a real big change situation. Niki Lauda, after leading this race as he has done, a great disappointment, but of course a great success story for Ken Tyrrell's team, who now find themselves very much in the lead, with Jody Scheckter leading the British Grand Prix.
They're on their 73rd lap of the 72 laps actually completed. Jody Scheckter in the lead from Emerson Fittipaldi. The Ferrari of Niki Lauda still third, ahead of Jackie Hicks, and 5th is Clay Regazzoni, and 6th is Carlos Reutemann.
There can be hardly any air left in this tyre. There's only around 15 or 18 pounds per square inch at the beginning of the race when the tyre is fully inflated. You'll see the tyre flexing because really there's no pressure in it.
I think we should look for Jody Scheckter. Meantime, we're looking out for Jody Scheckter now in the lead with the Tyrrell. There he is. Tyrrell number 3. What a drive for this young South African. Replacement for Jackie Stewart. Lauda still third, of course. Emerson Fittipaldi in second place with the McLaren behind Jody Scheckter's Tyrrell. And then it's Jackie Hicks, who, as I say, must be very surprised because he really wasn't a contender in his JPS. It was the JPS of Ronnie Peterson that was providing all the fire, both in practice and in the early stages of the race, having started in pole position alongside Lauda. 73 laps completed. They're on their 74th. And now Jody Scheckter reeling off the mileage. And here's Lauda coming up to Hawthorns with the tyre, the right-hand rear tyre, shredding off now.
It's stopping, the tyre's stopping as it goes round there. You can see the tyre's beginning to slip on the rim itself sometimes. He's going very slowly. He's going to wreck the rear suspension in this condition.
It's going to ruin the car.
The car's going to break. The rear suspension itself, of course, in the Ferrari is pretty strong, but that tyre is finished. It was a very difficult decision for a driver to make under those circumstances. He either makes the decision to keep going or to come into the pits. And you can see bits and pieces flying off of that tyre. Very soon it'll be on the rim, and then surely he will not be able to go much further.
Meantime, Jody Scheckter is on his last lap in the lead as the Ferrari limps painfully on. It's Jody Scheckter. And Niki Lauda has just lost third place to Jackie Hicks. Jackie Hicks has got past him. And can he get it to the checkered flag? There'll be no rubber left on that tyre at all. Jody Schecter's time for his 74th lap, 23.7. And he's coming up.
He's come into
the pits after all that, and Jody Schecter's on his last lap, coming up to take the checkered flag in the British Grand Prix. Here he comes. Jody Scheckter on his way to the checkered flag in the British Grand Prix of 1974 in Tyrrell number 3. There's the checkered flag, and Jody Scheckter wins for Tyrrell and South Africa. Now we've got to see the second man home. Second man home will be Emerson Fittipaldi in the McLaren. There's Jody Scheckter on his lap of honor. Now Emerson Fittipaldi has taken the checkered flag in second place. Third will be Jackie Hicks, fourth Clay Regazzoni in the Ferrari, and fifth Carlos Reutemann in the Brabham, and sixth will be Denny Hulme on the McLaren M23.